Okay, number 11, we're still in exercise 68. I'm going to write directly on my document at this point. And part of the reason for that is I think if you can do this by paper and pencil, you should. However, if you need help reading through my solution, that's fine. You watch the video. Now, certainly, it starts out saying, clearly 0, 0, 0 is a trivial solution. This is a rather peculiar word that they use in mathematics. And you'll often hear it say, oh, it's a trivial solution. It's trivial if you see it, all right? Now, what I mean by that, if x, y, and z are all 0, clearly every single equation is satisfied by that. So what I want to do is go through the next part of the process is, basically, what I call the non-trivial part. Are there other solutions to the problem? Let me get my eraser out. A trivial thing. I'm not going to say it's trivial, but that's a typical word they use in mathematics. Let's take a look at what they say, or what I did through the problem. And by the way, this is the initial way I did the problem. You look at this and say, well, I've done it differently, and I'm getting the same answer, and that's fine. We're not saying you can't get it done with a different technique. Here's what it says. Here I'll multiply the third equation by minus 3. So let me do that. And third equation by minus 3, you get minus 6z. Let's see, minus 6x equals minus 3 xyz. All right, here I will multiply the third equation by minus 3 and add it to the first. Well, let's add it to the first. What's the first going to be? Well, the first is just writing it down. Right next to it, 6x and 6y. And that's going to be 5xyz. And if you did that, what would you get? Well, let's see, the x's disappear, so that's interesting. You get 6y minus 6z equals 2xyz. And I guess you know what I would do? Let's see. I think I would divide by 2. And what would you get there? 3y minus 3z. And I'm divided by 2, by the way, xyz. All right? And I see that written down, by the way. It says, add this equation to the second equation now. Well, let's do that. What's the second equation? 3y plus 3z equals 2xyz. And what would that give you? Well, the z's disappear now. What do you get? You get 6y equals 3xyz. Okay, I'm looking at that, and that's not bad. I guess I could reduce that a little bit, right? So I'll divide by 3, and you get 2y equals xyz. All right, just doing step by step what they're telling me to do, and I clearly see that in the blue area. It says solve that for z. Well, if you solve that for z, I guess you'd have to divide both sides by y. Remember, we already know this, so I'm not worried about that anymore. So y's not 0 when I'm doing this version. So if you divide, let's see, well, if I divide by y, I would get 2 equals xz. And then if I divide by x, I would get 2 over x equals z. All right, I clearly see that in the blue area. Using this value of z in the second equation, right, using this value of z in the second equation yields y equals 6 over x. Let's just circle that. And again, you may wonder how people stumble upon these things. They keep moving. That's how they stumble on things. And 3y plus 3z, well, 3z would be what? That would be 6 over x, right? Equals, let's see, you would get 2x, and you'd get y, and then you'd get 2 over x. I'll write that down for you. That's not so bad, right? So what do you get there? Well, I got to do some work over here. This is 3y equals, I'm sorry, I forgot the 6 over x there. Equals, let's see, that would be 4y, right? Because the x's cancel. Yeah, I got 4y. And I'm getting, let's write this down. I get 6x equals y. Yeah, that's not bad. I got that. I'm going to kind of circle this now. Now, circle these like nice things I'm seeing. And I'm going step by step. And now what it says to do, it says replace these values for y and z in the first equation. Oh, a lot of work. Let's put this down. So it would be 6x plus, I'll get my eraser out pretty soon, by the way, 6y. And 6y, again, I hope you realize that we're seeing these things over here, and these are substitutions now. So it's going to be 6y, which would be 36 over x equals, and this is going to be, let's see, 5xyz. That's a little more difficult, right? So 5x, what's y? It's 6 over x. And what's z? Z is 2 over x. Well, a little more complicated, but still doable. And you get 6x plus 36 over x equals, well, 1x would cancel off, and you'd get 60, wouldn't you, over x. And I start to realize that, this is I'm not going to say an easy equation to solve, but it's getting there, and I'll write down what I'm getting. I get 6x, and I'm going to take 36 over x from both sides. That'll be 24 over x. I'm going to multiply both sides by x and divide by 6, and you would get x squared is equal to 4, or x is equal to plus or minus 2. Now comes the problem, and the problem is going to be this. Again, we know the trivial solution, at least what most people would describe as a trivial, easy solution to a problem. By the way, the other ones might be trivial also for people that are really good with arithmetic. They can see things that other people can't see as rapidly as others. So I'm going to say x is 2. I'm going to write this down now. And let's see, what's y again? Y is 6 divided by x, so that would be 3. And what's z? Z is 2 divided by x, so that would be 1. And that's certainly one answer there. Now let's say I took the other one, which is minus 2. Gee, what would the y be? Again, I'm looking at 6 divided by x. That would be minus 3. And the other one's going to be 2 divided by x, which would be minus 1. And clearly that's listed right over here. Not a bad problem. All right? Now, granted, someone say I have a better way of doing it. Someone's always going to have a better way of doing something. But the bottom line is it's really not that bad what I did. That's what I did initially. All right? Now, granted, maybe next week I'll do something different. If you have something that you think is more elegant and you want to share that with me, please do. My name is Ron Bannon. And my email address is, let's write this down. I'm going to write it over here, is B as in boy, that's Bannon, B as in boy, the @ symbol, NNON.US. And as long as I'm not overwhelmed, I'll certainly try to respond to you. Thank you so much for paying attention, though.